What's up, everybody? Welcome to RGL Season 2, Week 1, 100 Beasts versus Froyo. This is the marquee matchup between the two top teams in the RGL Invite Division. Let's see how this mid unfolds as both teams approaching the mid, both soldiers getting there fast from both teams, but seems like nothing's really happening now. Bot mode, walking towards the Froyo side, getting some good damage onto the Froyo players, but he's taken down as it seems like 100 Beasts now with the one-man advantage and winning the mid overall here. Looking good here as they're gonna attempt to push onto the second point. Both medics got out, so it's gonna be an equal Uber situation here. Maybe an Uber trade. Seems like Ash might want to walk it in, but it seems like he's a little bit hesitant as Habib has his stickies around the choke point, so covering off that area, making sure the 100 Beast players can't just walk in. Everybody up, the respawn's up for both sides. Oh, and one player's bombing in. That's Showstopper trying to get in for a quick force onto Cookie Jake, but he was not able to get in far enough. Blaze, likewise, trying to get onto 404, but wasn't able to connect the rocket either. And it seems like 100 Beasts have actually picked up another pick onto Yonk, so both of the soldiers down for Froyotech. That's a lot less spam power for Froyotech. Only Habib with the fragging class, and the Uber is actually popped off on Froyo, and this is looking really good for 100 Beasts. 404 is not being pressured at all. He doesn't have to pop this Uber, and the 100 Beasts can actually just walk into the second point here and take it without having to use their Uber. So this is a very good situation for 100 Beasts right now. 404 got down pretty low, down to 40 HP, but it seems like 100 Beasts are just racking up the kills. They're really steamrolling with it, popping the Uber into the last point now, looking to take the first round of this map. And it seems like they'll do it as they've gotten everyone down except for Habib. Habib's going to be the last one alive. He gets 2 picks, but that's all he can do as 100 Beasts take the first round of this map. Really nice clinical play by 100 Beasts. I think the really good turning point was 404 not being pressured by the Froyo players, mainly because the Froyo players were quite out of position. So 404 was able to keep his Uber advantage for that whole fight, giving 100 Beasts the advantage. So another mid here, spam being exchanged by the 100 Beasts and Froyo Demo Men, and the Froyo soldier Yance jumping right onto bot mode, trying to get him down real early. So that pick was actually quite effective. It forced the 100 Beast players, despite both teams losing 2 players. The Demo Man pick is pretty influential as a lot of spam and area control power is defeated on the 100 Beast side. So Froyo going to be able to take the mid now. However, Banny was taken down by 100 Beast, so that's one pick going to 100 Beast's favor. Let's see what they can do with this. Oh, 100 Beasts trying to walk through the choke, but they got stuck pretty bad by Habib's stickies and Blaze with a high bomb. Blaze trying to get in onto some of the weak 100 Beast players, but he's taken down as frags are being traded. Yams with the soldier shotgun, trying to get on 404 now and actually forces the pop, which is a really nice play because the 100 Beast players managed to get Cookie Jake in the meantime, so that was really critical to at least kind of reduce the overcharge advantage that 100 Beasts will have. Cookie Jake going down and still not being up for another 3 seconds means that 100 Beasts will at least have like a 20 to 25% Uber advantage, which is sizable enough, something to push off of, but it's not going to be as bad as a full Uber disad for Froyo. Habib was in there shooting some stickies, trying to get the 100 Beast players off of the midpoint, but he backs up as the rest of the 100 Beast players coming into the mid and forcing him out. So we can see Yonks now on the off class, probably trying to get a sightline onto 404, but the 100 Beast players have now spotted that out, so 404 should adjust accordingly, making sure not to get into those sightlines. And this is looking good for 100 Beast again. Uber advantage, it's actually 30%. They built quite effectively. Oh, and Jay is right on Cookie Jake. It doesn't even matter that Cookie Jake was getting close to his Uber. He's taken down before he gets it. And again, 100 Beasts are going to roll with another Uber advantage. because Jake went down. He was just a little too far forward, and 100 Beasts running in with the Uber, the Scout, able to take him down. So again, stuff looking, it's looking very well for 100 Beasts. Let's see if they can convert another Uber advantage push onto a last point of Froyo Tech. This time Froyo Tech should have a little more time to set up their defense. You can see banning on the engineer, Eric on the sniper, hoping to get a sight line onto 404. Both of them playing kind of defensive right now, but 100 Beasts approaching the Uber, just now getting it. Let's see what they do. Pushing in from, I think they're pushing in from 2 here. And the Uber's pop, Sentry's going to go down, and Jay clearing the stickies on the point and getting a little bit of cap time as he backs up. Again, no frags being traded just yet, but as I say that, Froyo picks up 2 frags, and this push is not looking very good for 100 Beasts. The heavy from Eric, just a lot of consistent damage, able to chip down the 100 Beast players. And besides getting the gun pick and a little bit of early cap time, the 100 Beast players really couldn't capitalize on their Uber advantage and get picks on the further players or even really get them down too weak. So they were close to the respawn. Oh, and Jay, really nice play. Running in and getting some pressure onto Cookie Jake. So Cookie Jake pops 100 Beasts, 404 with 75% Uber advantage. Just has to make sure to stay alive here. Blaze bombing in, getting a really good spam onto the 100 Beast players. You can see a lot of the 100 Beast players are so low. 404, in fact, only on 40 HP, but he's going to be able to get back up to the resupply cabinet and keep his Uber. So 100 Beasts are not out of this round as they maintain their Uber advantage, and as the respawns come up, they also get a pick onto Blaze. I don't think they'll be pushing out on this, but is Jay still on the engineer, but it helps slow down the Froyo push. As Froyo look to build up their Uber advantage as well. And as I say that, it seems like 100 Beasts are actually getting a bit adventurous, coming out from the shutter door, bot mode, throwing some pipes up, but they back up as they lose Yite. Oh, and they lose another player. That's not good. Ash going down as well. So they still have the Uber advantage. Oh, and nice shot by Showstopper King. Just getting out, switching to Sniper, and getting a shot from the resupply door, and then switching back to the Soldier. So now both teams have popped their Ubers, and the frags are going 100 Beast's way. 2 frags picked up on Habib and Yams. Those are critical frags, as only the Scouts and the Medic of Froyo remains compared to the whole team of 100 Beasts. So Froyo gonna have to back up as 100 Beasts reclaim their second point. Really nice play, good decisive off-class play by Showstopper, getting the pick. Really helped turn the tides for their last push, the last defense, I should say. So now you can see Yams on the sniper as well, hiding behind the rock, making sure the dot of his sniper rifle is still hidden behind the rock, so 100 these players don't quite know yet that he is on sniper. Transitioning to the shutter area, one of his scouts, I'm not sure if it's Benny or Eric, opening the door for him, enabling him to get a sightline, but 404 smartly hiding behind Spire, making sure that Yams can't get a shot onto him. Yams getting quite a few body shots, and he sights 404 just a bit, sees the medigun beam. Habib finishing up the damage onto Jay. So it's looking good for the Froyo players. Oh my god, this is not looking good. 404 had to back up to IT just to avoid the sniper sightline, and because of that, he was disconnected from the rest of his team. So that really enabled Froyo to just push across grass and get second point for free without having to pop their Uber. Really nice play, using the presence of the sniper to pressure the 100 Beast players and separate them from the medic. Really nice play and good teamwork as Showstopper now bombing in. Actually gets the force onto the Froyo players, which is really nice. I think he was going for the sniper, but he'll take the force as well as, 100 Beasts actually popped their Uber as well, but it's a really nice Uber, taking down 2 players. Yams in rollout as the sniper trying to get a pick, but it's not going to work out. Oh, he actually gets a body shot onto Jay, and SMGs him a bit, but unable to finish the kill, and Jay whacks him with the basher. And I think 100 beats, yeah, they're gonna take the second point again. And it's gonna kind of reset here. 100 beats with a bit of the Uber advantage since they popped their Uber a little later. And they're throughout this match, I've noticed that 100 beats are building their Uber a little better. Right? They pop pretty close to each other. Should only be like a 10 to 15% advantage, but 100 beats have built this up to a 30 to 35% advantage, something that is definitely pushable. I'm not sure if 404 has been keeping track of this. Not sure if you know that Jake hasn't been building as effectively, but I think they might have an idea as they're actually just walking through the choke right now. Yamps trying to slot a jumping soldier, but not given a sight. And 100 Beasts actually back up now as they realize that their Uber advantage is not as big now at this time. Yam's going to the choke point, but Jay picking up Banny forces the 100 Beast, the Froyo players to back up, and Showstopper with a huge bomb picks up Habib and Yams. Really nice rockets as the Uber is popped on the Froyo side, and I think Cookie Jake is going to be stuck here. He's on mid all alone. It's a 1v1 with bot mode, and bot mode finishes off with the pipe and bottle. And now you can see Blaze trying to get onto the 100 Beast Medic 404. Only one player defending him. I don't know. Oh, both of the 100 Beast Scout, as I say that, rushing to defend 404. So it seems unlikely that 404 will fall. But it seems like, despite all of that, despite the really nice play by bot mode and the rest of the 100 Beast players, it seems like they're going to back up in the midpoint as Froyo retake it. So again, it seems like stuff have kind of reset to where they were before, where 100 Beasts had around a 35 to 40% Uber advantage, and they're on their second point again. And it seems to be shaping up the same way, except, again, 100 Beasts, like I said before, they're building so much faster. It was only a 40% advantage, but it grew to around a 55%, and I think they're going to pop in here. Yes, they are. The Uber popped on Jay in bot mode. Bot mode bombing forward, trying to sticky out the choke. Make sure to catch Yomps in, and 100 Beasts do manage to clean up the frag, and they're going to be able to take the midpoint as well. So this isn't not a bad Uber. Picking up a frag and the point, not something to be discouraged about. As Froyo now with the Uber, I think they're gonna elect to push in here, banning clearing the stickies, spotting out bot mode's trap, and I think Froyo are gonna want to try and walk in here without having to pop their Uber. So far, it's been pretty successful, but Cookie Jake is juggled a bit. He's at half health, and there's a rocket getting shot at him by Ash, but the Froyo players managed to pick them up, and again, not enough pressure being put onto Cookie Jake. The rest of the Froyo team are gonna be able to push into mid here, and they're not gonna have to use their Uber at all. In fact, they're actually gonna keep steamrolling as they managed to get 3 picks onto the 100 Beast players. So they're still not using the Uber. In fact, the 100 Beast players are trying to push in and force the Uber. That does happen. There's an Uber exchange, but 100 Beasts are gonna have to make sure that they don't overstay their welcome. They don't want to lose a round here, and they do lose Jay in the process. However, only one player down. It's not the end of the world. Yite on the Harry off class. Let's see if Jay will come onto the engineer when he respawns. And Showstopper with a nice pick on the Banny. A flurry of frags for 100 Beasts as Habib gets 2 picks, but the rest of the 100 Beast players are cleaning up most of the Froyo team. In fact, they get Cookie Jake as well, which is a really nice pick. Keeping 404 alive, they'll have a really nice, juicy Uber advantage. And Froyo, all the respawns except for Cookie Jake coming back up. And it seems like Habib and Blaze harassing the rollout and lobby of 100 Beasts really actually stopped them in their tracks. They had like a 2 to 3 player advantage, and they still didn't push out onto the second point. Really nice play by Habib and Blaze to delay the 100 Beast push. And in fact, now 100 Beast jumping in with the Uber. I don't think they're going to get a kill from this. In fact, they lose bot mode. This is not looking good. Yite taking out Eric. So there is a trade, but losing the demo. And now Froyo are going to have the Uber advantage. It's not the best trade. However, as I say that, again, this is such a back and forth map. 100 Beasts managed to actually just completely clean up the Froyo team, as taking down Cookie Jake as well. Cookie Jake with the long respawn, so 404 again gonna have an uber advantage as 100 Beasts pushing into the midpoint. Bot mode looking to trap off the forward spawn, but now he switches his attention to choke as Habib is launching stickies onto the midpoint. Don't think he's gonna get any kills, but he's just building up his damage stats. That's always looking good on the statistics, the logs. So as we equalize here, we're halfway through our first half. It's still 0-1 in favor of 100 Beasts. So 100 Beasts looking really good currently in this first half. Up around and with the uber advantage in this second round of our of CP process. And let's see what 100 Beasts would like to do. I think Showstopper, oh, I thought he was going to try and do a bit of a jump to bomb in, but he's actually just clearing IT as the 100 Beasts players clearing out the way, getting a really nice coordinated spam, taking down Blaze, flurry of frags, 2 plays on either side, and I don't think anything will happen from it as Froyo have built up their Uber as well, so very curious to see if they're going to try and take the trade here. And yes, they are. Oh, the Froyo Banny just running at Ash and managing to pick him off. As yes, on the other side, Jay taking up Eric. And oh man, yeah, the 100 Beast players pushed him pretty far. I think they were afraid of banning, like flanking all the way around as well. So they popped off the Uber there to save themselves, but they didn't get enough pressure onto the Froyo medic. So Cookie Jake still has his Uber, and it seems like Froyo should be able to take the middle point here without a lot of contention from the 100 Beast players. You can see Showstopper still in the sewer of Froyo, and actually they managed to force off the Uber onto Froyo Tech, so at least they managed to do that, making it a little costly for Froyo to take the middle point. But 100 Beasts are sticking around here, even though Froyo Tech have really good positioning, taking down Ash as well. Jay trades onto Habib, which is a really nice pick. But I think 100 Beasts are going to have to back up here as they're down 2 players. Bot mode is getting so aggressive. He just really wants to fight. Oh, goes for the air pipe. Unfortunately misses it and loses his teammate as well in Jay. So I think he might want to back up just a tad, save his life. I mean, bot mode is just loving standing near the choke, getting that little bit of spam and sticky damage. So 100 Beasts losing Showstopper, but trading out with Blaze as well. And there's a 1v1 taken in lower of IT. Yeah, taking down Eric, so that's a nice pick for 100 Beasts. They now have a 1-man advantage. And let's see, they're rolling in through, and Froyo, I think they're going to back up here. Froyo don't actually quite have the Uber yet, so they're not very safe. They're not very confident about their ability to hold, but as I say that, they get the Uber, they pop it, and they try and go forward to get the force. Oh, really nice sticky side bomb mode. He was trying to trap Banny in, but Banny managed to just jump over, and in fact, this is actually looking good for Froyo now as they managed to clean up 3 picks. Oh, this is not looking good as Banny, I think he's going to take, yeah, he takes down bot mode as well. And 404 is just going to be up to him to try and stay alive, but I don't think I'm not sure if he'll even be able to do it. Yeah, the Froyo players were coming in trying to, all the Froyo players are actually pushed up so far, trapping both spawn doors of 100 Beasts, so that actually turned into a disaster there where the respawns of 100 Beasts were just quite too slow, and they weren't able to set up a last defense, giving Froyo Tech another round. This has been quite an eventful first map, tied 1-1, very intense as Ash a little slow to the mid, still waiting for the arrow from 404, but 100 Beasts nevertheless taking up the first pick onto Blaze, really nice play. I think the soldiers doing really well. Showstock getting some really good spam, and Ash cleaning up the pick as well. 100 Beast soldiers playing very well as they're getting some really good spam, clearing space for their team as Showstoppers jump through. Oh, and as I say that, I don't think he called out the stickies fast enough as Habib manages to get a trap kill onto Jay, which is a really nice consolation as Showstopper bombs onto Cookie Jake, and Bot mode finishes off the frag, so 100 Beasts full Uber advantage here. They're down a fragging class on this second point, so they might want to back up here just to keep the Uber advantage, and that is exactly what they're doing. 404 beam locked onto Yite, but they're going to hold on to the midpoint as Cookie Jake still was not up during that whole entire time. The two respawns for 100 Beasts now coming up, with Ash coming up in just 1 second. So as soon as all the players of 100 Beasts have come back to the mid, I would expect they are going to ready themselves for a push onto the second point of froyo. Showstopper again doing the same thing, clearing out space, and again I think he's calling out the Trouse wall. In fact, he it causes bot mode to actually lose his life, and 100 Beasts popping off the Uber, picking up Blaze, but nothing much else. And a lot of their players are low. Yeah, Ash down, Showstopper down. I don't think this is what they wanted from their Uber. And now froyo are just going full speed, trying to pick up the frag on the 404, and they're going to get it. Some really nice rockets by Yams, keeping down both 404 and Yite. And now it's all up to bot mode, setting a little trap on the rock and underneath the point. But I think he's going to have to back out as Banny finds the trap as well. Showstopper and resupply with the sniper picking up Blaze. Showstopper's been doing some really good work on the sniper. Already 2 critical frags this match. That one just being a nice frag onto Blaze, slowing down the froyo push. As froyo have the full Uber advantage now, looking to get their second round of the half. This half has been so back and forth. That second round was very, very long. Both sides fighting and leapfrogging over and over again. That is exactly the kind of TF2 we love to watch. But now, froyo Tech with the Uber advantage, let's see what they can do. They pop it in through 2, getting some space. Really nice control. All of the 100 Beast players on the right side from froyo's point of view, as Banny, 100 Beast, froyo picking up 2 frags now, picking up 404, which is a really nice frag. So a lot of the 100 Beast players, yeah, I think they're all going to go down. The fight just got really extended there, and Cookie Jake staying alive meant that all the froyo players could still be healed up. And with that extended fight, that leads to froyo Tech taking their second round of this first half. So what looked really well for 100 Beasts, they had opportunities to go up 2-0 with Uber advantage pushes into the last point, but now it's turned on their head as froyo Tech is now leading 2-1. So let's see what Showstopper and crew can do. Showstopper bombing in, getting a little bit of splash, but not doing much else. Yite picking up the first frag onto Blaze, and Ash, really nice frag onto Banny. Like I said, the 100 Beast soldiers are doing really well, getting good spam damage, putting out positions for their team. Yams is going to have to back up now with the rest of the remaining parts of his team. And again, good spam by the 100 Beast soldiers, forcing Habib overstayed his welcome by the Shutter Store. Again, the damage from Showstopper and Ash's rockets really forcing him low, and then the scout, I think it was Yite, cleaning up the frag. So that was not, it was pretty bad overextension by Habib. I think 100 Beasts wanted to push off of that because Demo down is a pretty big pick, but the sniper of Eric managed to get a frag under Showstopper. So they're going to take their time here, posturing in lobby as one of the soldiers getting in. Ash trying to clear out the sniper from the sightline so his team could walk in, but he's taken down, and I think the rest of 100 Beasts are going to rotate around. 100 Beasts managed to take down the sentry gun of Banny, no small feat. Banny on the engineer, man. But again, they're still down Ash, so I don't think they're going to try and push this. And Banny is going to be building up his gun again on the left side of the point. 5 minutes remaining. Eric coming out from resupply from the spawn, and probably going to take a little bit more of an aggressive stance with his sniper to get a pick. Yeah, a lot of the 100 Beast players are just walking in here. Showstopper getting in Ash taking down the sentry of Vanny again, but Habib manages to pick up bot mode, and Yite, the pick onto the 100 Beast demo, man. That's a pretty critical pick, and with 2 players down extra for 100 Beasts, I don't know how they're staying here to fight it, but they still are, and Jay picking up Yance. Now this Uber 404 has to flash a bit more, so it's not going to last as long, but they actually managed to, oh my god, the juggle by Showstopper. Holy crap, he is playing some vintage Team Fortress 2. He juggles Cookie Jake up as the Uber was fading for Cookie Jake, and it prevented him from leaving, so they now have a full advantage. No medic up on Froyo. All the Froyo players are not going to be well healed up during this fight, and 100 Beasts are slowly, methodically, just picking up the frags. However, as I say that, they had this whole push dead to rights, and they still somehow mess it up. Tom's taking down both Yite and 404 with the shotgun. I really don't know what happened there. I think they just took a little too long. Like, they should have played around their heels a bit more. That was like their main advantage in the fight, taking down Cookie Jake. So 2 things might have happened. They just didn't play around their heels as much as they should have. Or another way that they could have really cemented their advantage was just waiting for the Uber advantage. So they went right away when Cookie Jake was down. That's one way to go about it, just to push when Prototech has no medic. It certainly gives you an advantage, but another way they could have done it, and that might have been better overall, was just basically getting the Uber. I think they didn't want to do that because they've messed up a few Uber pushes into Froyo's last, so decided not to do that. And as I say that, Froyo now pushing in, taking the midpoint while losing a player, but not having to pop their Uber, which is really nice. As 100 Beasts just getting their Uber now, 3 minutes left in the half. Let's see if Froyotech or 100 Beasts can get one more round onto their tally. It seems like it's going to be a stalemate situation here. No off classes on either side. Let's see what happens. With only 3 minutes on the clock, one team is going to have to take the initiative here. It's probably going to be Froyotech, as they have less to lose, being up around and having the midpoint. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Seems like the Froyo team is rotating to IT. The Soldier Blaze, yeah, getting the pick on the Showstopper, but bot mode cleaning up 2 frags onto Blaze and Yomps. Really nice demoing by bot mode. Bot mode is playing an exquisite game, having a lot of impact on the map. And the Uber is now popped on Froyo. Danny trying to get onto bot mode, gets one mute shot up, and then the Uber is popped, and Jay cleaning up the frag onto Danny. So now there's a chance, a bit of a chance, for 100 Beasts to keep rolling with this. They've taken down Danny, 1-man advantage, 2 minutes on the clock. Let's see if they can make this happen. I think Showstopper is probably going to jump through again. Yeah, that seems like what's happening. Actually, bot mode going through. Yomps taking down Jay, but 404 actually getting the Uber saw to Yomps. He's going to have a bit more Uber than Cookie Jake because of that Uber saw kill. And again, the 100 Beast players now have the advantage. Oh, really nice crispy directs by Ash. He's going to be trying to get onto Cookie Jake now. I think Cookie Jake is going to be down as well. No Froyo players are up. The cap is going on the second point, but this is looking really good. If 100 Beasts mess this up, there's absolutely no way. They have full Uber advantage. Not all of the Froyo players are even up. Let's see if they can do this. Yeah, all the Froyo players just coming up now. Banny going on to the heavy weapons guy, as he doesn't have time to set up a sentry, as 100 Beasts are now going to roll in. Uber pop before the sniper has any chance to get a shot onto 404. Lots of cap time by Jay. Yom spawning onto the point to clear the players, and again, how is this happening? Is 100 Beasts again beef the full Uber advantage push, and Prototech are going to hold on. Man, they had a full advantage there. They had like 5 players up at least 2 to 3 players on the last point, and not all of the froyo players were up, and somehow they still couldn't convert the round. I mean, it was looking so good. 100beasts have played really well this match, and they've gotten a lot of opportunities to convert rounds. They just haven't been able to do the final step, which is getting onto the final point, getting the cap. I should stop talking as we cast what's going on. This is the last ditch effort. 4 seconds left on the clock. Nothing's going to happen here. And yep, final score of this half, 2-1 for Froyo Tech. Really nice holds on the last point. Like, even as we say 100beasts beefing the pushes, on the other hand, you have to commemorate Froyo for having some really stellar last defenses, holding off full uber advantage pushes, and yeah.